Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs joins us now. Do you think that's the right choice, or do you think that these areas should allow the feds in? Because some say the federal forces that are on the ground, whether it's DHS in Portland, are making things more difficult rather than better.
Well, I think it is the right choice if you want to get back to a point of safety for your municipality. And what's happening in Portland really is every night for 50 nights or more, you've had people want to burn down the federal court building. They've actually been shooting incendiaries, throwing Molotov cocktails in the building. And the federal civilian agents, they're not military, the civilian agents are protecting federal property. That's right now where I think the appropriate limit is. But what they do is they throw their incendiaries at the federal courthouse, try to light on fire, then they run to the public park across the street and think that gives them immunity. It doesn't. It's a federal crime. They've committed a federal crime, and now they're subject to arrest. And it's just like we would do with any federal crime. The federal agencies are going to go in and make those arrests, and that's what's happening in Portland. I think it would be helpful in other places. I think the president's loath to get there, because so many people are just seem to be okay with the violence in their municipalities.
Let me take you to the question of schools, because I know your state is one of the spots where we've seen an uptick. This is what your school superintendent had to say, Arizona school superintendent had to say about opening schools in your state. Let's listen, I'll get your response.
Okay, all right.
Many of our school districts have already opted that they will not offer in-person instruction until October. So we do expect that schools will have different start dates depending on local circumstances. There could be scenarios in the future where a school could open for in-person instruction, and then if there happens to be another outbreak in that area, they may need to close again.
Do you agree with that action?
No, I'm struggling with that action because I think the data is clear. CDC has indicated that actually in a normal flu season, kids are more at risk than even in the COVID situation. And look, in Arizona, what they're doing is they said, look, if parents don't have someplace that they can put their child for like childcare or something so they could go to work, they want the schools open to receive them. They're just not going to educate them. That seems to be at odds to me. I mean, if you're going to allow them to operate as a child care facility, you certainly would allow them to operate as an educational institution. And so I do think it's a bit problematic with what they're saying. And maybe what we need to do is just let the parents have the school choice that they want, which is to move to privates, because there's some private schools that are ready to open, there are charter schools ready to open. And they're discounting the harm to students, both physically, emotionally, and healthfully as well by denying them access to schools.
No, and there's a real disparity among that. You know, not everybody can afford, as you're making the point by saying school choice, not everybody can afford to go to those schools that are open, and those that are being left behind are often the most underprivileged to start with, and we're setting them back in the future. Representative Biggs, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.